Hello, welcome to Bloke on the Range, and we're here at the Hätilä 2022 match run by SRA Etelä-Häme here in Finland, and I'm joined by Jari, CEO of Varusteleka, and Les, CEO of Polaris Worldwide Logistics, who is expert in bringing firearms in and out of the US, including that very one there that you brought to Switzerland. In fact, Les arranged the import and export not only of his What Was Stoner Do there, but also Jari's a while back, and mine back in December, and this is probably the single greatest concentration of What Was Stoner Do seen in the wild anywhere outside the US. So, and there's another one hanging around. Our friend Pascal has got his. Also came in the same batch as mine from the US to Switzerland. So we're shooting 8 stages. If you can remember what SRA shooting is, there's some videos from last year when I came with Jari and Jenny, and I'll link them in the description below and you can have a look. But in brief, it's not brutality, it's not IPSC, it's not 3-gun, it's kind of its own thing. It's kind of scenario based and it's super cool. So we're shooting 8 stages today. We've just finished the first 4, and so Jari, you remember the stages better than anyone else, so stage 1?
Yeah, the stage 1 was kind of the anti-tank mine ambush scenario. So you track the anti-tank mines on a road and then proceeded through the different firearm positions. It was pretty fast-paced stage, and I liked it because the anti-tank device was pretty heavy to track on place. There was 3 Finnish anti-tank mines. And that's actually the Varusteleka's stage, and we have one cool extra feature there that if you choose to, you can start the stage doing 1 minute of burpees.
Which he did, of course.
Yeah, which is super cool. So yeah, that was fun stage. I enjoyed it a lot.
So how did it go for you?
Well, you know, stage 1 was pretty good. Not as fast as you guys, but it was a solid stage. I liked the fact that there was real military utility to it, and it definitely gave it a flavor that a lot of other matches don't have.
Yeah. In my case, because I'm coming at this from a sports shooting angle mostly, it's the first time I shot the What Was Stoner Do in a practical match, and it's great. Sometimes, you think, oh, this is really easy, but it's really light, so if you make a mistake, it will punish you.
Yeah.
And the last port, Jenny had arranged the port to be just high enough that if you rested the fore end, you couldn't see the sights without tilting, or what I did was I put the muzzle device on the wood and shot the last targets, but it was super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I have so much stuff on the front, so I knew that I need to tilt it right away, and yeah, I didn't have any problems with that because the distance was quite short.
Yeah, it was only about 25 meters, and they're the big old-fashioned IPSC head targets, so the A zones are quite large. You don't really have to worry about it. So then we went on to stage 2, which was
there we had more anti-tank activities. So you had light anti-tank bazooka, and
66.
Yeah, starting with that, and there was a nice FX build around it, and then 3 different shooting positions ranging from 25 to I think 200 to 150, 200 meters. So pretty straightforward and running uphill, so that was good. And I think when you looked from a side when people shot the bazooka, I think it looked really cool, the effects what they built it here.
Yeah, no,
it's gonna
really
look cool on video.
Yeah. How about it go for you?
My time was not as fast as I would have liked. The red dot here performed really good, except at the very long-range target, so it took me a few more rounds to get it. But it's still within the capability scope. That's more of a shooter thing.
Yeah.
But the simulation was such that I felt like I should be doing like in the training manual, you know, calling out target, tank, range.
Yeah.
And for me, I I was a bit quick on the start. I misinterpreted something in the brief, and then I forgot to cock it. So the stage karma of the universe was in equilibrium, so it wasn't too bad. And then did a mag change before the last position. Swung my magnifier in because I'm running a Holosun 503 ACSS reticle with a magnifier, and that's literally the only target presentation I've used the magnifier on. It was really only for the latter two targets. And I'm so used to shooting with a dot or iron sights where you don't have a field of view issue, and then you had two paper that are about 25 meters, which is the minimum in SRA. It was like, oh, where are they? They're huge. And then shot them. And as I was going down, you can't really wait to see if the reactive targets react or not. You have to sort of move on. And I got to the end, I thought I'd hit them all, and I look up, and there's one still standing there. Bugger! And it took me like 3 rounds, and it shouldn't have done. I felt kind of stupid, but actually that went quite well other than that. And then, moving on to stage 3.
Yeah, there we had the mortar position, where you started by putting the round down the tube and then continued. It was in, of course, in a forest environment, and I think it was pretty well built that you needed to check your sectors that between what tree you were shooting, and it wasn't obvious, it wasn't too hard, but you need to pay attention, especially that you are not kind of shooting the trees on front of the targets. And I think my performance was quite good in that. At least the poppers and the reactive targets, it felt easy, like just put the dot on there. And
was it the fact that there were Zeds? They weren't yellow forces anymore.
Yeah.
In Finland, with the NATO accession, they're allowed to admit.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a certain Ukrainian war theme to this match, but that was an awesome stage, and you did very well on it.
Yeah, that stage rocked pretty good. Again, I like the military simulation of it. Spiking the mortar tube. And then, as Jari said, you had to find the targets. No shooting position had its sweet spot where you could just gun everything down from there. You had to really make sure your scanning and your target counting was on, or you were definitely going to miss something.
Yep. And then the last shooting position, you sort of run into position, and it's a fairly quick, fairly close-up blat on paper. But by that time, you are a bit gassed, and we are all competing in TST division, because otherwise Jari gives us a sad, disappointed eye, and we can't handle that. So we're all carrying at least 12 kilos at the start signal, and it can get lighter as you shoot up ammunition. But other than that, there's no heating stuff or anything. But it's warm for Finland warm.
Yeah, it's those only few days a year when we have a warm.
Yeah, and it's we're all quite wet and sweaty and nasty right now.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to smell us.
No. So stage 4 was a pistol only stage, and I'll describe this one. So we started with a fake sort of bazooka type thing on a tank, 4 steel plates, and then various shooting positions with paper off to the side, and we finished with some reactive targets out to quite a long distance. Not quite sure how they were.
70.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, certainly for you, because you took those last pistol ones from as far back as you could. Both Les and I ran forward to try and close the distance. Well, shooting with a Glock, and why not? I miscounted and had to do a standing reload. I thought I had enough rounds left in the gun to at least attempt them, and then had to do an idiot reload.
Yeah.
There. But your pistol is a?
I have a Staccato with me, so that's the second match I'm shooting with it. So it was like really easy for even those long shots. You just put the dot on the middle and off you go. The rest of the stage for me was a bit disaster. I didn't pay attention in the briefing, and I was pre-gassed out from running. So I misinterpret that on what side of the line you engage each of the targets. So I got the one procedural, and then I got confused and forgot to I got the mag change, and I got the one mic because I forgot to shoot the one target the second shot. But it happens. Lessons learned.
Yep. Anything particular from your end on that one?
That was a great simulation. That's one when I walked through, I decided that even if it cost me a little time, I'm going to try to get the training value out of it. So made the point of engaging with the AT4 and keep the kneeling position with the target. And even though I've got a ZEV 34 well capable of those long distance pistol shots, I thought the better tactical thing was to just run and take position behind the logs, because that's what you do in real life.
Yeah.
And for the few seconds it cost, I think I got more training value, so I'm totally happy with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to the end and braced because it was a reflex. I didn't even think about it, really. Just like close the distance and rest.
Yeah.
And the time it cost me to get there is probably going to be compensated by the fact that I'll take less shots because I'm 15 meters closer and I'm resting.
Yeah.
But that was that was super cool, and everyone's equipment has been performing flawlessly.
Yeah, I haven't any issues with the rifle or pistol, and this rifle is already tried and tested, and it runs well. Of course, it's a shorty, so going for the longer distances, especially with the 55 grain ammo, it kind of starts to lose some of its magic. But for these distances, no problem, and so super easy to handle. Only thing, like compared, for example, yours, is that because I have the laser on light, and because the rest of the construction is so light, it's front heavy. So this takes a bit used to it, that when you drive it and all the weight is here, so it can be a bit wobbly if you're not used to run this.
Yeah, because the point of balance on a standard one, unless you put a big sort of front heavy scope on it, is actually quite far towards the back.
Yeah, it's kind of where the handle is.
Yeah, it's really nice to work with. And these things, given how light they are, they're like 2.25 kilos empty with an empty PMag in them.
Yeah.
They have no right to shoot as flat as they do or as sweet as they do, but they're beautiful. And a friend is also borrowing this one, so this one's getting two loads of shooters on it.
Yeah.
And she's enjoying it a lot. And yours is well explored.
Yeah, brought her all the way from the USA. Got her camouflaged in M05 just for the Finnish environment, because why not? But no, the WWSD rifles are just absolutely amazing. They do live up to the hype, and don't let anybody tell you different.
Yep. And the price, when people complain about the price of them in the US, it's $1,600, and we're here like
cheap.
Yeah, that's dirt cheap. You don't want to know what we pay to import them. But anyway, so that was the first half of the match, which has been super cool. And stick around, next video will be the second half of the match after we've had some lunch and got on with it and died of heat stroke. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all to, Jari and Les and the organisation of SRA Etelä-Häme, and everyone else involved, and patrons who make it possible for me to be here. So thanks all, and see you again. Bye.
Etelä-Häme. Alexa. Stop. Stop. Aika.
Pari kiellon päällä.
Tuossa kirjataan nyt.
Ilmoitatko valmis? Valmis. Huomio! lopettanut. Valmis. Lipas irti liikkuvat.
Ready?
Stand by!
Miten se purpee menee?
Punnerus, hyppy ylös. Antaa mennä. Aika mennä. Punnerus. Sitten taas kyykkyy ja jännehyppy.
Well done. Unload and show clear. Clear.
Ampuja valmis! Huomio!
Tää muuten. Lääkkeet sun muuta ei tästä aamusta. Huomio! Stand by! and show clear.
Stand by. Are you finished? Unload and show clear. Starting position. Shooter ready? Stand by. Finished. Unload and show clear. Hammer down.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Ampuja valmis! Stand by! Unload so can clear.
Stand by. Stand by! Done. Unload, show clear. Huomio!
Hetkinen. Oliko se?
Siitä.